Welcome back, Math 10. Today we are going to look at how to calculate the side length of a right angle triangle. Okay, so let's start off here and with a little bit of review of Pythagorean theorem. So if I have this triangle, what is Pythagoras' theorem? I'm going to assume this here is my right angle. It is always equal to c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. That is Pythagorean theorem. It says the hypotenuse squared is equal to the addition of both of the legs squared, each leg squared added together. All right? Now, let's calculate the side length of each of these. So we're going to end up using Pythagorean theorem to calculate each side length. This one here is going to be c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. In this case, this is c. C is always the hypotenuse, which is opposite of the right angle. Now, we put in my values that we know. We have 3.7 squared plus 2.7 squared is equal to c squared. So I'm going to plug those in. We have 3.7 squared plus 2.7 squared, and that's going to give me 20.89. Now we want to square root this, and I'm going to get 4.58. Okay, because c squared is equal to that, so we have to square root both sides. So I get c is equal to 4.58 centimeters, or 4.6 centimeters. Because this here, one decimal place, so I'm going to keep it at one decimal place. All right? Now let's look at my next one. This would have to be c, because that's opposite of the right angle. And this is going to have to be a leg. So once again, we have c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. In this case, though, we do not know this side here, which is, I'm going to say a. So how do I find that side? Well, I'm going to rearrange this, because since we don't know a, I'm going to move b to that side. So I have to subtract b squared from both sides. I'm going to have c squared, subtract b squared is equal to a squared. Right? I just took away b squared from both sides. Okay, so we end up getting now, this is 122. 122 squared minus 120 squared is equal to a squared. So putting this in my calculator, 1/2, 122 squared, and I want to subtract 120 squared, which will give me 484. Okay, so I have 484 is equal to a squared. Now I got to square root both sides. So I put that in. Oops. And I get 22. So 22 millimeters is equal to a. Okay? So let's look at this example here. We want to find the missing side length, x. Okay? Now what do I know? I know my angle here, and we don't know the opposite. So we don't know the opposite, but we know the hypotenuse. So if we look at that, remember SOHCAHTOA? I want to know the opposite, but I don't know hypotenuse. So I'm going to put in sine 52 is equal to opposite, which is x over 14.2, right? So now we gotta solve for x. How do I solve for x? I'm going to multiply both sides by 14.2. Okay? Put that into my calculator. But first thing we always must do is make sure calculator is in degrees. I look over, degrees is highlighted, it's in degrees. Okay, so I got there by pushing the mode button. Okay? Now, we go 14.2 sine 52. And I'm going to get 11.1. So 11.1 is equal to x. All right? Now, here is my next problem. I have a word problem now. It says, a ladder, 4.5 meters long, just reaches the top of a wall. The angle between the ladder and the ground is 65 degrees. Okay? So this angle here is 65. That's my right angle. 65 degrees. Make a rough sketch, determine the distance between the bottom of the ladder and the bottom of the wall. So this is my x. Okay? The ladder is 4.5 meters long. Okay, so if I was to redraw that out, it's going to look like this. We know this is 65. This is my right angle. This is 4.5. And this is what we're trying to figure out, is that x. Well, I look at this, what do I know? I know the hypotenuse, right? So if we look at SOHCAHTOA, I know the hypotenuse. So we're either looking at sine or cosine. I want to find my adjacent. So I'm going to find my adjacent. So adjacent, we're going to have to use cosine. So cos 65 is equal to x all over 4.5. So I have 4.5 cos 65 is equal to x. So let's try that out. I'm going to go 4.5, and then I hit cos and 65. And I'm going to end up getting 1.9 meters. So it is 1.9 meters from the wall. Or the bases. The base of the ladder is 1.9 meters away from the wall. Now it says determine the height of the wall. Well, we want to now determine this wall, the height. This is the opposite. So to do this one, I'm going to end up using sine. So we have sine, because it's opposite, and hypotenuse. Or I could even use tan. I could use this one and this one for tan, or I could use sine for that one. Okay, but I'm going to use sine 65 is equal to, we have y all over 4.5. So I'm just going to do the same thing now, except I'm going to go sine 65 multiplied by 4.5. And that's going to give me 4.07. So y is equal to 4.07. Okay? Well, 0.9, 0.8. So 4.1 meters, in other words. So y is equal to 4.08 meters. Now, but really here we have one decimal, so it should be 4.1. So the height, the ladder reaches 4.1 meters up the wall. Let's write this in. And there we go. That's it. Okay, our next question here says, determine to one decimal place the length of the hypotenuse of a triangle PQR, where angle PQR is equal to 90 degrees, and PRQ is equal to 28 degrees, and QN is that. Okay, so let's just draw my triangle. Okay, so angle R, PRQ, is 28. I'm going to put this 28. So this will have to be R. Okay, PQR is 90. So this must be Q. And this must be P. So PQR, yep, 90. PRQ, 28. Yep, so if we go this way, that's 28 degrees. If we go this way, that's 90. Perfect. Now the hypotenuse, oh, and PQ, we know side PQ is 15.6. All right? Now, what does it want us to do? Determine, to one decimal place, the length of the hypotenuse. We're going to try and find this hypotenuse here. So let's try and figure this out. I have my, from the angle known, I have my opposite, and we want to find the hypotenuse. So I'm going to use sine, which is equal to, sine 28 is equal to opposite, because it's so, which is 15.6 all over my hypotenuse, which is the unknown. Okay? I'm going to continue this, and I'm going to rearrange this here. So I'm going to multiply both sides by x, and divide both sides by sine 28. Because then I'm left with just x, and it's my numerator. Now I have x is equal to 15.6 divided by sine 28. So let's put that in my calculator. And I'll divide that by sine And I'm going to end up getting 33.2. All right? Okay, one more. It says, using trigonometric ratios, determine the lengths of A, B, and C. Well, we want to know AB and AC. So these are my two that I want to know. So there's many ways of doing this. You could probably do it a different way. I'm going to do it one way here, which involves the Pythagorean theorem. Starting off, I'm going to try and use the ratio we haven't so far. I'm going to use the tan ratio. I look at this, we have 71, and I want to find x first. So x, we know the adjacent, and we want to find the opposite. So tan is TOA, opposite over adjacent. So that's going to be x all over 147. Okay? And we have tan 71. Remember? So TOA. Alright, now we look at this. We have to resolve, so I'll move that there. So I got 147 tan 71 is equal to x. Plug in my calculator. There's tan. And I end up getting 426. Now, what we want to find is, we have to find this y value, okay? This is in meters. Oh, 427, because I have to round up. Sorry about that, because it's 0.9, so I round up. So 427. Now I want to find the y value. What I'm going to do to find this y value is, I'm going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So I know c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Or what you could do is you could use your cosine law right here, all right, to do that. Or you can end up using your sine law using this one and that. So there's more than one way. But I'm right now going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Now, my two legs are 147 squared plus, and we have this one here, which is 427 squared. Okay? That's c squared. Now, I'm going to plug that in. I'm just going to square this answer right here. So, I'm going to square that one, because that's exact. And then I'm going to plus 147 squared. Okay? So, I end up getting this number here. So, that gives me 203,868.8 and c squared. So, now I must square root both sides. So, let's square root that. So I just push second in the answer. And I get 451. And that's it. Okay? So we get 451.5 meters. So that's actually 452 meters. So we have to round up. Okay? So now we found both. All of that, this is actually y, and I found x. So I found all of my sides. So that's everything. Hopefully you understood this. Good luck. As I see you tomorrow, we work on the questions together as a class.